Hey guys, Chris here, aka Bricknit, and welcome back to another LEGO City update. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the train and starting to create the train ballasting as well as the kind of loop of where it's going, as well as showing you potentially the tunnel which it's going to be going through as well, and some of the ideas I've got around how to do that. So without further ado, let's jump into the city. Okay, so from last week's update we decided to start just roughly laying the tracks down here on this new dark green. You can tell the difference between that is the light green, that is the dark green. So this is where the loop is going to start going. Now what I wanted to do was actually raise this entire part of the city. I don't have the MDF to do that yet, so I'm just going to start working on this train for now. But what I wanted to do was have two trains. I only have one at the moment, so I'm going to be getting another one in the near future, and I want to have it to go all the way around and then loop around the back here, going through, doing a loop all the way underneath the city and through. Now as I was doing this, I actually came up with a pretty cool idea, that what I thought, which was actually to, when this gets raised up a bit and the train goes through, if I cut off a section and have it as half a base plate here, then actually what I could do would be create these bends in this curve right here with the train. And I thought that's pretty cool, but then obviously we're going to lose a lot of space which we could potentially have underneath the city on this section, because it's going to be all filled in with basically, you know, a wall going around and things. But I thought I wanted to start doing some kind of hidden underground areas and adding in stuff like the turtles or Mandalorian, stuff like that, even, you know, potentially stuff that's underground-esque, even Minecraft and things. So I thought, well, when this gets raised, this bit here is actually the most on display for the actual city. So I thought, why not create a section that's half a base plate wide, like that, so the train could go behind it, and then we create these little areas where I could then pop this off. So this is a actual wall, but I could pop it off and then show people inside the underground area of the city, which I thought would look really, really cool. So on the basis, you wouldn't even be able to tell any difference when you're looking at it, but then as you know, you came in and had a look, I could pop these all off and show kind of hidden secret areas inside the city. So I think that is what I'm going to do. So for that reason, I'm going to make the train tractors come a little bit, maybe to here potentially, so we've got a little bit more room to play with this idea, because this, even though it's a half base plate, might need to go in, obviously, because I would have to create a wall or something that goes around the edge of this section of the city. But that's where I'm kind of thinking of doing it. So how am I going to do this train? And obviously it's going to have a train station to match these train tracks as well. So I've had some ideas, and this is kind of what I found. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, there's actually an awesome website online which is called rebrickable.com, which is where people make mocks and then sell the PDF instructions for people like me who aren't that great at making mocks to put them in the city. So something like a train station is just going to be way too big of an idea for me to start off with. I'm kind of already doing just half facade stuff at the moment. So I had a look around to see kind of what I had in my head, the kind of thing that I wanted, and I found the perfect one, which is this one called the modular train station. So it's by a designer called Steinkonig. I don't know if I've pronounced that right. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name, but he designed it in 2019 and it is absolutely awesome. It contains two train tracks, which is perfect. And I just want to see what the measurements are between the two train tracks. I'm hoping they fit onto a 32 by 32 base plate. If not, then I'll have to do some slight modifications or something. But this one looks absolutely perfect, bar that and potentially the other thing, which is where I want to mirror the entire build. But with the PDF instructions, it should be pretty easy to mirror the entire thing, because I want to have the train entrance actually to be on the left, so that then the minifigures can walk up into kind of into the wall and go up in a kind of staircase which goes up to the other raised part of the city. So I think that is where it would look cooler. Also then that means that the train tracks can be on the outside of my area, so the train tracks can go where I have them currently and then go into a tunnel later on. So I bought the PDF instructions, so now I want to measure how far across the train tracks have to be in C, and then we can start ballasting the train tracks, which I have. So after showing Mrs. Bricknit the PDF as well, and we've been doing some ideas of how it could potentially go in the city, this is the spacing that we need to have for it to go through the train station. So it's quite a few bricks in between, not too tight, which is a bit unfortunate. It means that it's using up more of a base plate than I really wanted it to, but it's such a cool building that I definitely want to incorporate it into the city. So Mrs. Bricknit at the moment is now looking through how we can do the mathematics going around the city, because I am terrible at that, and then we'll start ballasting it. So looking at the PDF of that train station, it is 3 away from the end here, and then it has a little bit more here. This is actually on a 48 by 48 base plate though, which means it is actually that far away. So here is where the little train station section would be. So that's where my ideas of it going on something higher really didn't work. So I started sketching up this idea. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys. This is just really rough sketching, but the train station will be here. This will be a raised section of the city. And then I'm thinking maybe a path down, I'm not too sure yet, but I actually had an idea of putting a road in front here where it would then go into a tunnel which basically just goes to nowhere. So there would be just a tunnel here that just goes to nowhere, but just kind of nice little car tunnel. And that way then you'd have a road come all the way around, which would go through and then back up to the main road here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I think that's pretty cool. So now I know that, I want to ballast these train tracks because they're going to be in this area here. And then they'll go all the way down and then around into the tunnel area. So the way that I've decided to do ballasting is actually from another YouTuber because he's done an absolute awesome way to do it, which is Robin Hood Bricks. I'm sure you guys all know about him. So I'm going to ballast my tracks exactly as he has, but we're using this space here and then trying to figure out the turn of the road here. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. That has taken absolutely ages, but we've actually mathematically calculated-ish, well, it needs to be pretty precise, but I think we've done it, the track curves. Now this looks really odd because obviously it's not going to be going into the car services, but that's just going to be, that will be higher once we kind of get the wood that we need to do that. So it's going to curve around there, go down here, and then it's going to curve here. I purposely left a base plate here because, like I said, that gives us half a base plate inside of this bit to play around with putting in some mocks and stuff, which will be pretty cool. But also, I had an idea of something that could go there, which might be next week's update if I get around to building it. It's got lots of stuff with Diagon Alley and stuff coming this week. But anyway, so we've got the two tracks going around here, and I've started ballasting how Robin Hood Bricks does it, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to show you how to do that because I don't want to be stealing any other content creators' work, and he's really, really cool at that. So go and check out Robin Hood Bricks if you want to know how to do that stuff. But I'm going to have a go at doing his curved bits now as well because I've got enough pieces I think I bought for 2 curved tracks. So I'm going to do that bit right here and try and do as much of this little bit here as I've got because I've pretty much run out of straight track now and I'm going to have to do a bricklink order because now I've decided to do 2 trains. I need a lot more train track. But anyway, okay, so that's just taken absolutely ages, but using the Robin Hood Bricks track that we've already done, which is slightly raised, we've now calculated where all of the studs go to clip on an angled track. So Mrs. Bricknit now overlays it over, and you can clip it in and it actually clips down onto the track, so it shouldn't move at all. And I just think that is just absolutely amazing what Robin Hood Bricks managed to figure out with that. I just think it works, it doesn't move, it's great. So that just took us absolutely ages. We now need to do this one for here, and then I'm going to add the nice tiling on from what I've got as well. So yeah, there will be some nice tiling on like so, but we just haven't put it on yet whilst we're calculating it. There we go, that is 2 done. Really cool, these aren't moving anywhere. It's absolutely awesome. Just 1 stud deep as well, which is really, really cool. There we go, so that's going to be where the tunnel goes. Just put those on as well. So now what I'm going to do is probably the back 2 as well over here, just whilst it's a bit easier to do. I probably don't have enough dark green base plates again, which is really annoying, but because I need to use 4 in this corner like that. So I'm going to use 4 of these ones that I've got, and then I'm going to have to get a grey one anyway for the train station. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to try and tile a little bit of the dark brown. I don't have many of these tiles, but just to show you what it will look like. Okay, so after pretty much all day of doing this, I have managed to actually ballast this bit here, and it actually all works, and it's just 1 plate up, which is pretty awesome. I'm now going to finish all of this, and then I'm going to try and add as much of the brown tiles that I have. I do not have much of those at all because they're super expensive on Bricks and Pieces, so I'm just going to have to see if I can find them at some point or gradually build them up. But they're not needed, they're just more for show than anything, whereas now I can actually start putting in the track that I have. Annoyingly, I did the same track here and I did it 1 stud over accidentally, so I'm going to have to redo this entire bit, but I'm just going to do that gradually over next week, just off the camera, because that's why it has to be like that this way. So I mirrored that, and yeah, not the best idea, bit annoying. It's going to take ages to repick, but anyways, it's going to have to be done. But I will start at least putting on the finishing touches to this bit over here. Okay, and this bit here is what it's going to look like when it's all finished. So it's just going to have basically 1 studs around just all randomly to look like kind of grit and pebbles on the track. I'm going to do brown 2x4 and 2x1 tiling, but they are so expensive. I just literally just bought that little bit just to show you that's what it will look like, because they're just so expensive. I'm hoping to find them in a pick a brick wall or something at some point, but for now it's just really for aesthetics. The rest of it is all working. So the train is on there and it goes past perfectly. So this is kind of getting us started with the train. I'm pretty happy with what I've done this week. I think this is pretty good. It's all a bit of a mess. The city's kind of all been ripped apart, but I knew that was going to happen with adding stuff like this. But I'm going to have to try and look at getting some wood so I can start raising the city so we can get the actual train to fully go around the track. But that is it for this week. So that's it for another LEGO City update. That has taken a lot of my bricks up. As you can see, I need to order some more from Bricklink now, but I do think it looks really, really cool, and especially when we get the new brown tiles added on and stuff, it will really look awesome on that bit. Doing that this week's given me even more ideas to come up with. The new road that's going to be going through with the cars, and that's going to look absolutely wicked when that's done, and it'll help connect the higher level and the lower level when that gets done. I'm going to have to look at ordering some wood this week. That might take a couple of weeks, obviously the issues that are going around at the moment, and also I just want to make sure I get the wood exactly right sizing, so I haven't got to do much cutting myself, as I am not the best joiner in the world, as Mrs. Bricknit will tell you. But I think I've got some really cool ideas coming up in the future. I've got another idea for that one 32 by 32 base plate at the front. That might be next week if I get a chance to do that. But we've got lots of new stuff coming out this week, such as Diagon Alley, Raised Crest, stuff like that I might be doing reviews of. That might sap a little bit of my time. But if you do like LEGO City updates, I'm trying to do one of these each week. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, because it definitely does help out. And other than that, have an absolute awesome day. If you enjoyed the vid, then if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. And as always, keep bricking it.